We're in Greenfield, Massachusetts at VSS, and we're getting ready to ramp things up. We are talking all things high speed and high volume manufacturing on this episode of Workholding Evolved. Big thanks for letting us come here today. This place is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you here.
Great. Do you mind giving us just kind of a history of Valley Steel Stamp?
Yeah, so we call ourselves VSS now,
Okay.
but the full name is Valley Steel Stamp. So Valley Steel Stamp was created in 1971. So my father, it's funny in hindsight, but my father came back from Vietnam. He was full-time Army, and he was going to go back. My mother threatened to divorce him unless he got a regular job that was less stressful, right? So he bought a two-man shop, which was basically a Bridgeport and what was called a copy mill. And they made steel marking dies for local industries. So at that time, there were a lot of local companies that were making tools and dies and hand tools in particular, drills and taps. And it basically served the entire time that I was young, local companies to mark their products. That grew over time to around 2010 when we were still doing about $2 or $3 million, and that's all we did at that time. We started buying CNC machines in that first decade of the 2000s, and we had a unique thing. We had hundreds and hundreds of customers that were buying $5,000 or $10,000 a year in marking tools to mark their products, but those relationships were also buying millions of dollars a year in component parts. So we started investing and taking chances on expensive machinery to be able to be a production solutions provider for large industrial companies in aerospace and defense in particular. And fast forward about a dozen years, we just had a successful year at 40 million in sales. We look forward to 60 next year. We're looking to acquire other companies, and we're really poised for growth. And we feel like in a short period of time, we've moved from sort of at the tail of technology to the forefront.
We had the opportunity to sit down with Steve Higgins from VSS University. Yeah. What an amazing program, and it sounds like a great opportunity for the community and for really anyone that would want to come here and seek a career in manufacturing. Can you give us just a little background, where did that come from? What was the challenge?
I think it's just we all experience it, right? What does everyone talk about in our industry? What have they been talking about for years? It's the lack of available people, right? The lack of skills. It's been going on forever. We love to follow here Mike Rowe. I don't know if you know Mike Rowe from Mike Rowe Works.
Absolutely.
So he's very, very famous, and he's a leader in the idea that the U.S. educational system pushes skill sets that are not beneficial for most Americans, right? That are not going to make them wealthier. But if you become really an excellent machinist, if you're a solutions provider, you can program, set up, and run machines, particularly in aerospace and defense, in my entire adult lifetime, you have a job for life. So as we're growing, we find ourselves in a position where we can buy capital, we can buy tools, we really don't have any choke points, there's huge demand from customers, but we can't find enough employees. And we saw pretty quickly that was going to be our choke point for years to come, as it still is now. I think there's a stat right now that nationwide, there's 3 jobs for every available skilled person in CNC machining. So if we could be a solutions provider and normalize the age of our workforce, because the age of the workforce and what we do is 57, where the age of the workforce at large is 47. So if we can right size our workforce and have that curve of age be normal with excellent skills that are better than our competitors, then we're gonna outlast them and take more market share. So Steve Higgins has created a curriculum. VSS University is a real thing. We've been investing in it. We intend to invest more in the future. And I think it's the thing that separates us from others.
Steve, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Hi,
Do you mind telling us about VSS University?
Yeah, VSS University has been in place here at VSS. They kind of tailed off in 2016. Gordon Cranston was running the training, and I was teaching at a vocational school. I'd been in it about 5 years. I was a licensed advanced manufacturing teacher. And he kind of said, would you be interested in restarting it up? And I came in and took his curriculum and I revamped it to the new machinery and the new controls and the speed of machining. And I ran with it, and I've trained about 5 classes with 6 people per class. So I got about 30 graduates.
So Steve, you've got a lot of experience teaching other people, like things that you've learned over a long career. What is the difference in maybe the excitement level, the engagement level of a student who's strictly in kind of the educational environment versus someone here who's an employee, who's very hands-on, who's just trying to kind of hone their skills and improve their position?
That's a good question. When I was teaching in the academics in the high school level and the college level, the student would graduate and they would try the job, and maybe it didn't fit. You got the classroom knowledge and you've done all your project-based curriculum and you've done well, but you really hadn't put it to a test. When I came aboard here, the people came to class very hungry because this job's putting food on the table, They're very eager. So a lot of the people that have gone through like a basic blueprint class, dimensioning and tolerancing, they want to know when the next one is, because then they're building their toolbox day in and week out. They're gaining. So it's a different hunger.
Rico, we walk down these aisles and there are more fifth axis deuce vices in your facility than I think anywhere else on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, why the double station? Why the deuce vice? How has that helped you with productivity?
Deuce vice we love. It definitely boosted productivity. Started with your single station self-centering vice. Working in firearms, everything's got to be fast-paced. Great thing with your product, we can get everything real quick next day. So we switched in the dual station mainly just to help with operator input. Between pallet changers and double station vices here, it helps the operators get a lot more walk-away time, a lot more throughput at the machine. We've seen anywhere up from 25-30% higher production going to the deuce compared to the single station.
That's excellent. That's crazy. That's great numbers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And every time, seems like every other month, they're asking for more. Great thing with your vices, totally modular. We can keep adding on, adding more vices, getting everything to fit. So the footprint of them is just so great.
Now, you said you went from like our more traditional self-centering vice to a double station vice from Fifth Axis. What was that transition like? I mean, was it easy enough? Did you have to reinvent the wheel?
No, it was virtually flawless. We go on your website, download the models, bring them into our CAM software, and away you're going. We had the job going from single station to dual station within a day. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like I said, very good customer service and really help us out a lot.
Well, you mentioned that. That's going to lead me to my next question. There's a lot of work holding brands out there. Why Fifth Axis?
The two main things are availability and cost, as well as the customer support. Every time we need something, you guys are on it. We've done some custom risers, things like that with you, and you have no issue varying your process to help us out along the way.
Well, I appreciate that. Very kind words, and again, can't thank you enough for your time. This place is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Rico, this is just another great example of how you guys are really leveraging the modular design of our work holding to increase productivity.
Yep.
Can you walk us through this fixture?
Yeah, it's a great fixture. Fifth Axis makes great risers. These are the single station self-centering vices. With this job, we have to get in every side of the part. So again, we used to run one part in here. Customer demand went through the roof. So we got it set up with 3 parts in there, and now we can get around to all 5 sides of 3 parts all at one time. Operator gets to walk away for an hour and a half right now compared to the 25-30 minutes they used to have before. Not only do you get more parts out, but you save tool changes and wear and tear on your machine as well, basically just due to your great design here.
That's great. Now, this part, when it comes off, the 3 at a time, when you open that door, are these almost finished? Do they have another operation they're going to go through? Or?
They got one more operation, so we have a prep op here where we actually do a dovetail, put it into your jaws with the dovetail right on there, clamp it away and go, do most of the work in here, and then pass it off to another machine for a finish op.
So, counting workpiece preparation, we're at 3 operations, but then that door opens and 3 finished parts are going to come off.
You got it.
That's
yep.
fantastic.
It's super simple to use. One wrench, boom, pop all 3 of them out, clamp them up and go.
Love to hear that. Increasing productivity is a tactical decision. And with over 180 skilled machinists and engineers making critical, high-precision parts, you need to be a master tactician. VSS accomplishes this with a strong commitment to lean manufacturing and investing in systems that allow them to increase capacity on even existing equipment. They're getting more done. They're getting more output. They're getting more parts per cycle by investing in modular and standardized solutions. Right on the homepage of the VSS website, it says, VSS is built to serve customers who want to fly. I mean, how cool is that? I'm glad that Fifth Axis gets to be just a small part of that. And that's Workholding evolved.